Alrighty guys, hi, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. As always, if you're new or returning and you haven't yet already, please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below. I will try my best to see you all there. So today's video is going to be something that's a little bit different that some people had requested of me, and that's going to be starting a YouTube channel. So I'm going to talk about my experience from starting my channel, what equipment I started with, and what equipment I'm using currently, just to give people an idea if you're interested in starting a channel or you're thinking about it, so you can kind of know how someone else went through the process. I've talked about a few times on a few different videos that are a little bit older, and I'm sure not everybody have seen, about why I started my channel. I initially started my channel to tell my story of growing up from being a child of the welfare system and into adoption and what that was like for me. I started that series because I had recently relocated and I didn't have anybody, and I wasn't working in the sphere of my degree that I had been wanting to. I was still working, but in a different aspect of my degree, and I was somewhat filling a void. So I had talked to my husband and my mom and some of my family members about what I was feeling and how I was struggling a little bit, and I just popped the idea that maybe I will start a YouTube channel and just discuss it there. That way it can be help for a number of people, whether it be someone who has also had a similar experience to mine, or someone who was in the child welfare system to any degree, whether it was a foster parent or an adoptive parent, just to kind of have a different perspective. So that's what I started my channel on. As far as equipment, when I was just starting for several months, I was filming from my phone. I had set up my phone on my vanity, and that's what I had filmed from. I did that for several months, and then my phone started to have issues with audio, and it started to be a little bit of a problem. So I had gotten a point and shoot Canon. This is it. This, I don't even know what model it is, the SX540. It was just a standard camera that had a record button on it. It wasn't extremely expensive, so I had started to use that. And I had a little cheap ring light from Walmart, and I didn't have any microphone or anything like that. I just recorded straight to the camera to an SD card, and then I'd upload it from there to the computer into YouTube Studio. It was several months before I even tried to start editing, and even now I'm still terrible at editing. I'm terrible at thumbnails. I'm terrible about a lot of things. I'm constantly trying to learn and be better. But that's how I started my channel. I had a passion. I wanted to talk about something, and I wasn't concerned if people watched it or not. It was just something to help me get through what I was going through. And then soon after, I think it was a month, maybe a few weeks after, there was a pretty large YouTube scandal going on with the Stauffer family that aligned very closely to what I had already been talking about. And so I provided my commentary on how I felt and the perspective I had of that situation. And that's where a lot of my subscribers had come from. And people really enjoyed my content. And I kind of started to go into more commentary stuff while still incorporating some advocacy work, talking from my perspective. And a lot of that has kind of diminished over, I'd say, the past 4 or 5 months. I haven't really contributed a lot to that part of my life. I have focused more on having open community discussions about things that could be related to advocacy, and doing some commentary videos related to advocacy, and then just commentary in general. My channel has kind of evolved as I see what viewers want and what I am interested in. So that is how my channel has come to be over the course of a year, because it's been about a year and a month since I think I uploaded my first video, I have upgraded my equipment. I'm using a Canon M50 now. I have a nicer ring light that was gifted to me. My mom recently gifted me an actual mic. As far as editing software, there's plenty that you can pick from, some that are free. And if you have iPhone products, iMac products, you have the built-in iMovie. When I was filming on my phone, I had always tried to figure out iMovie on my phone and I couldn't, so I didn't edit then. Currently, I pay the subscription for Adobe Premiere Pro and I edit with that, even though it's like a professional system and I don't know how to edit. It has helped, and I'm constantly learning that editing software. Does that mean you have to pay for an editing software? No, there's plenty of free ones out there. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube from people who are more tech savvy on how to operate editing softwares. So if you're interested or you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel for any reason, no matter what your interest is or what kind of content you want to make, I always tell people and try to encourage people to do it. You can't be worried if people are going to watch your content. That's just something that comes with uploading videos to the internet. You don't know which videos people are going to enjoy, what kind of feedback you're going to get. You just don't know. And I always talk to people when they reach out to me about creating a channel is just be mindful about what kind of content you're making, especially if you go into the commentary space and you're commentating on other people, whether it be calling out bad behavior or just reaction videos to people and providing your commentary. Understand that if you are giving your opinions and even at times judging someone else, you are at some point going to be on the reciprocating end of that. And if that's something that you don't think you're going to be able to handle, I would advise to think of a different avenue of content. And that's not to discourage anyone, it's just to be realistic. No one is going to get on their platform and absolutely everybody love them. That just doesn't happen. Every person has your own personality, your own kind of style, and people just aren't going to like you because of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to understand those boundaries for yourself and know how you plan on dealing with that if it happens, and understand that at some point it will happen. It doesn't matter how small or how large your platform is. People aren't going to like you. People are going to send you pretty gross messages. People are going to comment some pretty nasty things, and it's up to you as the creator to put in place those boundaries for yourself and the community that you're building. So I always would advise that if you are planning on it or you are just starting, to have that conversation with yourself and understand what lines you are not going to allow to be crossed. It helps you maintain a sense of positivity on your content and your outlook on your content, because if you are someone who does not take constructive criticism or does not take pushback or even people just being nasty, commentary is likely not going to be the space for you. There's plenty of other content to make. I speak primarily on the commentary aspect because that's primarily where my content will fall, and that's from my experience. I'm someone who doesn't really dwell on the negativity that I get. If I see something outwardly gross, I just delete it. And if it's someone who's repetitively leaving the same very gross, vile comments, they get blocked. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. I only have a handful of people blocked on my channel, but YouTube has those things in place for a reason. And yes, if you're blocking a lot of people or you're deleting a lot of things where it is seeming that you're just deleting people who are giving you constructive criticism, you may get further criticized for that. And if that's something that you're going to engage in, just understand your boundaries. Put in place your boundaries. Don't let equipment hold you back. Don't let someone else hold you back from creating your channel. Just be realistic with yourself. If you are realistic with yourself and understand all aspects of deciding to get on a platform and make content, just understand the facets, both the positive and the negative aspects of YouTube and of any kind of space where you're a creator. And if you understand that going into it, you are likely to be able to deal with some of that negativity a little bit better because you've already set in place a game plan. There are always going to be outlying events and outlying things that happen that you're going to have to learn as you go. And most people are going to understand that. But just always understand that whatever boundaries you put in place, you don't have to detail every boundary you have with your audience. You don't have to detail every little thing. And always maintain a sense of privacy. You can share a lot about yourself and still have a sense of privacy. I have shared quite a bit about my life on my platform over the past year, but I still think I have maintained a pretty good sense of privacy for myself and my family. Does that mean I've not probably made mistakes and not probably said things I wish I hadn't have? Yeah, but that's part of learning, that's part of growing, and you have to understand that aspect as well when creating a channel. Is you're not going to do everything right the first time, and you're definitely not going to please absolutely everybody. But if you are contemplating it and you think that you have a very good outlook or you think you could provide something different, by all means, go ahead and do it. Don't feel that you have to pour a bunch of money into all of this equipment and hope that you get it back. I have primarily upgraded my equipment through gifts for like holidays and birthdays. I will request from whoever's asking me what I want, I will request an item for my channel. And if it gets gifted to me, awesome. And if it doesn't, that's great. I just save, and once I have enough from YouTube to purchase those items, I do. I never just went full head into it. And if you have the finances and you're able to do that and you want to have the best quality, do what you feel comfortable doing. Don't let other people dictate how you make your content or what you use to make your content. At the end of the day, most people who view YouTube, if you have really bad quality videos, it is a turnoff for people. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to build an audience, though. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have people who want to hear your next video. So don't let equipment and finances hold you back from making your videos. Don't let the potential of pushback and negativity really affect your choice. Just make sure that you have a solid plan on how you plan on deciphering that and working through it. If you're going to be somebody who's going to cling on to the negativity and allow that to affect you and your content, then maybe think of a different avenue. And there's also nothing wrong with starting at one place on YouTube and then deciding that you want to do something different. Clearly that kind of happened with myself. I started my channel doing one thing and it has slowly changed into other content. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you feel is best. Always make sure that you are keeping yourself safe and that you're maintaining your privacy and that you are doing what you think is best. Nothing else should matter, in my opinion. We all make mistakes, and if a mistake is made, that's when we need to hold ourselves accountable and have that self-awareness and be able to acknowledge it and move on from it. So that is my advice and how I started my channel and the equipment I have used and currently use. I am not going to probably link any of this because I didn't purchase. The only thing I purchased was my camera. Everything else that I operate off of was either gifted or something that we had before. Clearly, some things that I didn't mention that I use, I have a laptop that I use. It is a gaming laptop, so it can run a little bit faster. I have a tripod. I don't even remember where I got my tripod. And then I have an extra monitor. Aside from that, I talked about what I have. I have a ring light, my camera, and then I recently got the microphone, and I'm still working that out. So if the audio is ever way off, please let me know so I can look into that and fix anything, figure that out. But that is all of my advice and kind of my experience with starting a YouTube channel. If you have any other questions or anything like that, please leave it below. I appreciate you all, and I hope you guys have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you guys are. And until the next one, bye guys.